Okay, hi. Welcome to Making a Better Me. This is the arrival day of our trip to Disney World in Florida. We are staying at the Wyndham Garden, and I'm just outside my room here, and this is our overlooking over a beautiful courtyard with a Mickey there and a stone. You can see the pool off to the side. It looks like some tennis courts there. I'm not sure what else. We just got here. And unfortunately, Leanne has lost her phone at this point. We're hoping it does turn up. We've talked to security, but anyways, I'll take you in and show you the room. Here's my key. So this is our room. It's room 4006, and we have a single king bed and nothing else. Let's try that again. Okay. So here we have our room. Here we have Leanne. Hi, Leanne.
Hi.
So we have a couch there packed with stuff. We have our king-size bed. We have a mirror. Hi, how you doing? It's me. I'm in Florida. It is warm, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We have a pretty standard TV, fridge in here. Get some lights, and we'll go into the bathroom area. We have a little closet here. Leanne's hung some things up. So we just have a little closet and a normal bathroom type area. We've got some towels and things like that. Garbage and recycling. And the mirror. And then we have our shower here. So it's nothing fancy, but it's suitable. Basically what we're going to be doing is sleeping here and heading over to the parks. So right now our plan is to head to Hollywood Studios, although we've got to go over to Disney Springs and sort out a couple things there. We want to get some magic bands and get over there. So let's see how we do. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hi. We're adding a second part to this video. So the first part was taken the day we arrived in Orlando, and it is just a little sort of tour of our room at the Wyndham Garden. I've got Leanne here with me to help give me some input on things.
Hi.
And I do want to say, before we really get started in this video, yes, her phone was recovered. It's right there.
Yay.
So a big thanks once again. I did say that in some of my daily videos at the Wyndham Garden, to whoever turned in the phone and to the staff and security who were able to bring us the phone when we arrived back at the hotel on Sunday evening. We did
our first night.
Yeah, that was our first night.
Thank
so
goodness.
The night that we got there, when I made this video, the phone had been misplaced. We headed over to Disney Springs. We went into Hollywood Studios, and then after that, when we get back to the hotel, we checked, and the phone had been recovered, and it was at the security desk, and they were able to bring it to us. So once again, huge thank you to the Good Samaritan who turned in that phone. So what I wanted to talk about here was reasons we probably wouldn't use the Wyndham Garden again for a trip to Disney. And again, this is not bashing the Wyndham Garden in any way. It was fine. I don't think there was anything really particularly wrong with the hotel, but we had looked at it as a way to possibly save some money. And I don't know that the savings are really there if you're planning to do Disney. And I'll explain what that means a little bit more. Although, even if you're not, there's really not a lot of savings there over a Disney value like the All-Stars or something like that. But, you know, overall the room was pretty good. What did you think, Leanne?
I thought the room was very comfortable. It was very clean. It was well kept throughout the day while we were gone. It was quiet. The staff seemed friendly. They had a little like a convenience store of sorts that was open late into the night, so that when we came back from the parks, we were able to pop in and pick up a little something if we were hungry or if we wanted something for the morning. Yeah, like it was a very nice hotel.
Yeah, One of the things that I did mention in my other videos, and I want to sort of state here again as well, was it's something that didn't stand out at the beginning when I did the little room tour, but it would certainly be a concern for anyone who is taller staying at the hotel. The shower nozzle was extremely low. I noticed the first morning, Monday morning, when I get in the shower, when I was standing out of the nozzle, washing my hair, my hands hit the nozzle. I'm only 5'8.5", so if you're like 5'10", you're probably going to whack your head on that shower nozzle.
I'm only 5'2", and I thought it was really short.
So that would be a big concern for a taller person staying in that hotel. I don't know if all the rooms have the same, and it may be different in the tower portion. We stayed at the Wyndham Garden portion of the hotel, which I believe is the older section of the hotel. And as Leanne stated, it was reasonably clean and fairly well kept. I don't know if the cleaning and the upkeep was to Disney standards, but it was. I've stayed in worse places, but I've also stayed in much better places. So I guess that would be something to bear in mind. So what I really wanted to talk about though was the essential, the anticipated cost savings. And when I looked at these hotels, I was comparing. Originally, our plan was to stay at the Pop Century Resort, which is a value resort, although it's a little pricier than the All Stars. And what had happened is they had no availability for our trip when we went to book. So we looked at the All Stars, which was the other option, and the All Stars were available, but it was really, we've stayed at All Stars before, and not that there was anything horribly wrong with it, but I was really concerned about some of the ways things were done at the All Stars in the past. When we stayed there, the busing was always, the drop-off locations were very far from the park gates and things like that. And I just thought, I wonder if there's a way we can do this better. And the All Stars sort of seemed to be away from everything else. Now, that being said, they are reasonably close to the Animal Kingdom, which ended up being our favorite park. So we probably would have benefited more from staying there than I had realized in the planning stages. But hindsight is better than foresight, apparently. So what I'm saying is maybe you can learn from our mistakes. So the other things that I looked at when we looked at this hotel was the cost. And I actually booked through Hotels.com, and the price saving per night was, I believe, around $50 a night. Now that was in Canadian funds, because Hotels.com does do the transfer to Canadian funds. So that would be about about probably $35 or so per night in U.S. funds, approximately. So I thought, well, over 7 nights, that's going to be a few dollars. Like that would have been $350, which that can add up to quite a bit and make quite a difference. One of the things that I didn't notice at the time of booking until after we were booked was the resort fees that they charge at the Wyndham Garden. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing there with that, but they charge $25 a night for resort fees. So I would think that you're getting all the stuff in the main price. I don't know why hotels do that. I think that's very misleading practice. So when you factor that in, that added up to quite a bit. Do the transfer to Canadian funds, and that's more like $32. So there's a good chunk of our savings gone right off the first top. The other things that I wasn't thinking about so much that factored into the lack of cost savings was magic bands. When you stay at a Disney resort, you get magic bands included. So we had to pay for our magic bands. Granted, they were like $27 or $28 US, so about $35. But again, that's another day. The difference in the cost. So that certainly factors in. I will say though, magic bands are hugely convenient and really great to have. I'm not sure how long term that program is going to be. I've heard that they are testing phone access in some resorts, and using your phone as your magic band essentially, using the Bluetooth or whatever technology that they're using, their infrared maybe. So that may be something in a couple of years' time that might not even be a factor, but today, currently, that would be a factor. And the last thing that was a cost saving that that you would get at a Disney resort is the Magical Express. We used an Uber to get from the airport to the hotel, and I had a driving service, which was essentially the same as an Uber, pick us up and take us back. Total cost there was about just shy of $80 US. So you factor that in, and that's like $120 or something like that. So really, any savings that we would have had at the Wyndham Garden were lost. We would have saved just as much staying at a Disney's Value, one of the All-Star resorts, I believe. Now, based on our previous experience, what did you think of the All-Stars compared to the Disney Springs? I know it's a long time because it was 15 years ago when we stayed at an All-Star, so I don't know how much things have changed, but what did you think?
Well, I think it was different too because our girls were little. We had them with us, and they would do cute little things while we would be away for the day. We'd come back, and the little girls' stuffed animals would be kind of set up in different little poses, and they would do up the towels in cute little Disney kind of themed layouts or whatever you'd say.
Yeah.
They had like all the little soaps were Disney, like Mickey Mouse. And I think some of maybe the wallpaper or something was maybe a little bit maybe
Yeah, it was certainly more themed.
It was
yeah.
more themed.
But really, the room itself, not a whole lot better, I don't think.
No, as far as like the cleanliness and the
No,
quietness, it was
I would say the
par,
quietness was
I would
probably more at. I think the Disney All Stars, were quieter than.
quieter.
Yeah, I found it not as quiet. Like, I mean, we were up pretty late most nights, anyways. But even when we were getting ready to go to bed, I heard lots of activity, people walking by our doors and stuff at night.
The people in the next room, we could hear them a little bit because they had kids.
Yes, we could hear them in the mornings and things like that. So, there were certainly times that
didn't affect our sleeping. Sorry.
It didn't affect our sleeping because we were keeping kind of odd hours. So, but for some people that might be a factor. If you're staying, if you're not staying up late, if you're planning to go to bed early, you might be affected by the noise at the Wyndham Garden a little bit more than you would be maybe at an All-Star resort. Now, one of the other things that I thought about at the All-Star resorts that I kind of missed and would have thought to be handy was the All-Star resorts at least have a food court. We had a little snack shop, and they did have a little restaurant, but I don't know that it was the same. We didn't really use the restaurant. We did use room service once. But the restaurant itself, there weren't, it wasn't like a lot of options, I don't think, and things like that you could go in and sit down. Whereas, you get the food courts at the All-Star resorts, and you can get a burger, you can get a pizza, you can get, whatever foods, that they have available.
We were also able to get those refillable cups for drinks.
Yeah.
At the All-Star.
Yeah, they do have the refillable cups at all the Disney resorts, I believe. So that would be another thing that, could be a factor. Probably wouldn't have been much use to me because I don't drink pop anymore, and Leanne doesn't drink pop really either, so kind of goes out the window with that. Now, one of the other things that I do want to mention, I guess a couple things that I want to mention on the benefits of staying at the Wyndham Garden. One is we were literally, not much more than a few steps away from Disney Springs. We were probably a 5-minute walk from the entrance to our hotel to Earl Sandwich. The staircase comes out right behind Earl Sandwich that takes us over there. It was a very easy walk. You just go up, down to the corner, over the stairs, across the bridge, and then down the stairs, and you're in Disney Springs. So if Disney Springs is an important part of your destination, the Wyndham Garden might be a really nice fit for you in that way. Mm-hmm. Because, it was certainly great for that, and lots of food options there. But
And it was never really crowded, the walk to and from the hotel, whether we were going over to Disney Springs to start
yeah, it
out
was
the day
always
or at the end of the day coming
yeah.
back home. It was very quiet, and you felt very safe at night. It was very well lit.
Yeah.
It was good.
So yeah,
Really
that
good
was
experience.
in that way. It was all great. We'd see mostly workers coming and going at night and in the mornings. Um, so that was one of the things. Now the Wyndham Garden does have its own busing system that they have buses picking up for the parks supposedly every half an hour. We did use them a couple of times. They're certainly not the same quality as the Disney buses. And sometimes we did head over to Disney Springs and use the busing from there. So what we'd do is either go from Disney Springs to a resort that was close to the park we wanted to go to, and then transfer to the park, or I think we once walked over to Saratoga Springs, which was about a 12-minute walk for us, and we were able to catch buses from there. Most of the nights we took buses back to Saratoga Springs and walked from there back to the hotel. So that was one of the ways we did it, because I didn't really know where the bus pickup was for our resort hotels, and I knew the Saratoga Springs bus resorts or buses were always close to gates, because it's one of the deluxe hotels. So we sort of manipulated Disney's busing that way, and it was kind of nice, although that extra walk at the end of the night on sore feet wasn't always the most pleasant. Although it was a nice walk most nights. If your feet were sore, really wasn't worth the extra 12 minutes. The other thing that we did get with the Wyndham Garden, that was one of the deciding factors for me initially, was we got access to extra magic hours at the parks, which we used, although probably not as well as I would have liked to have. I would probably change the way I would use that, but I'll talk about that in a different video. And the other thing that we got access to was booking fast passes 60 days out. And I will say that is absolutely essential if you want to fast pass Flight of Passage, which you want a fast pass Flight of Passage, best ride ever. I think Leanne will agree with me there.
Fun. I wish I could go on it right now. It's so fun.
Yeah, it was
the best.
Definitely our favorite ride, and if you're going to Disney, you want to do that. You're really going to want to get a fast pass for that, or you're going to have to rope drop. Those are your options. The line is brutal. We did wait in the line one night late, and it was down to I think it said 90 minutes, and we waited about an hour or maybe an hour and 10 minutes. So it was that's a fairly long wait. I've seen it as high as 5 hours, so I certainly wouldn't want to do that.
Imagine.
Yeah.
It's really good, but it's not that good, maybe.
I wouldn't wait that long, but I wouldn't wait that long for much of anything. So yeah, anyways, that's our opinion, I guess, or my opinion and Leanne, about the Wyndham Garden. Nothing particularly wrong with it, but the savings aren't there to justify it, in my opinion. And in the future I would probably go back to an All-Stars or something else. Depending on what my budget would allow anyways. But
if we win the lotto, what we'd really like to do is stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. That would be the place to stay.
Yeah, that would be a nice place to stay, especially with the Animal Kingdom being probably our favorite park right now. That might change when Galaxy's Edge opens, although I don't know about how the crowds are going to be with that for the first couple of years. I think they're going to be insane, so we may wait a little while before we try that out, but hopefully we'll get to. Anyways, that's about all I want to say for this video, so be sure to hit the thumbs up, the like button, leave any comments below. Maybe you've had experiences with the Wyndham Garden and you'd like to share them with us, or maybe you'd just like to ask some questions about our stay. Please leave them below. We'll do our best to answer any questions you have. And last, of course, hit that subscribe button. We're going to have some more Disney content coming up, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Anyways, that's it for now. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.